Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, I'm going to talk through a Euro Oz trade that I took and talk about what could potentially happen next with the currency pairs. So essentially bought Euro Oz right down in here, and it looks a little bit strange to be buying from that position if I was to sort of scroll the chart over to this point here. A lot of people may consider this to be an aggressive entry. However, I'm going to build in the bigger picture and show you why this wasn't an aggressive entry and was actually a quite reasonable entry to get into the markets. Well, if you have a little look at this daily time frame first, and we spoke about this a while ago on Euro Aussie, and the fact that we had Euro gaining strength and the Australian dollar losing strength meant that we could potentially look for the reversal in this market. So first of all, I'm going to start off with the weekly time frame and just identify what is happening here. And what we had was we had a large bullish candlestick a few weeks ago. The market then come back down and retested the lows of that candlestick, but essentially it was finding support back through here where the market has found support recently or in the past, back in 2018. So price coming back down into this level may have been significant to traders that were holding positions through this area here. And what we may see is then price moving back to the upside. What we also looked at was the fact that if I just zoom right into this weekly downtrend, was that the market was potentially forming that double bottom and we were getting a breakout of this downtrend just through here. So let me just pop that on the second high through there, and we were getting a breakout of this trend here. So we're getting these confluences to say that we're starting to see buyers creep back into the market. Now when I go into the daily time frame, this is where it really starts to, you start to look at it from a picture of supply and demand zones. Where have buyers come back in the past? So we initially saw some buying from this area in here. Okay, and what I'm highlighting essentially is the last bearish candlestick before we had a significant turnaround. Okay, so what this is actually showing me is that there are strong buyers in and around these lows, or at this price in particular. Why is there strong buyers? Because it just completely flipped. The role went from being very bearish to very bullish very quickly. So what that means to me is that who's buying down in those positions? Well, really speaking, it's going to be the people that can move the markets, which is going to be large institutions, banks, things like that. They may have orders down in this area. What happens is then price comes back down towards this zone, and look what happens. We get another buying bit of pressure coming from this market. So once we started to see that again was like, well, I need to start taking notice of this market. We need to start identifying the areas where price could be bought back up again. So what I did actually was I narrowed it down a little bit further, and what I wanted to see in particular was price reacting from this candlestick, because that's again where buyers have stepped back into the market. And luckily for us, price came back down towards this level in here. Now the next step for me is always identifying the trend and identifying what's most likely to happen from a lower time frame perspective. When price comes back down into a demand zone, I want to see the lower time frame price agree with me. So essentially, once we get this bullish candlestick, it's going down into the 4 hour and looking at the 4 hour trend at this point, and we can see here that price comes in, rallies from this area, changes trend, it forms that higher high pattern that we typically look for when looking to buy a market. Now what I did was, using what they call a volume profile, I actually used a volume profile tool on TradingView to highlight within this area in here where the institutions were buying from, and that gave us this level where we saw, let me just grab a line tool, which gave us this level through here. Now this was a level then where institutions have been, or the highest volumes have been traded within this certain block of candlesticks. So if price is going to pull back to that point, then surely the most likely thing that's going to happen is we're going to see buyers again step in at that zone. And that's exactly what we saw. Price came back to this level. We obviously had another couple of tries at this level as well, but I entered on this candlestick, and price has shot up ever since. And the reason being is because it's all been that buying pressure, and it all stems from that higher time frame, those daily time frames buying here and here. That's what really gave me the opportunity to continue or to look for that long in the first place. So the next step is, what's going to happen next? Now, this buying pressure looks like it's going to remain. So we need to identify areas where that could come into and what could happen. So we have a little bit of a level, a little bit higher up around about 156.22 just through here where price is at now. This seems to be a key area because we've seen buyers step back in here and here, and we've seen some aggressive selling every time it comes into this area. So what we need to do is wait for the market to break above now and retest, give us another opportunity on a daily high or low to look for that continuation long. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll speak to you in the next one.